everyone, my name is Sarorn Lin, and this is LTC's The Lowellian. And today I have the wonderful pleasure of having a local community member, Tara Hong, here as our guest. Thank you for joining us today, Tara.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, and so I'm so excited about hearing more about you and your life and the things that you're striving towards. But for our members here, can you give us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your history and things that you've been doing recently and things that you're striving for?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so my name is Tara Hong. I currently live in Lowell, but originally I'm from Cambodia. I came here in 2013 with my mom and my sister. My stepdad took us here. Just want to help us to bring here. You know, like many other immigrants, we came here to seek opportunity for build our new life, right, in this country. Came here straight to Lowell from Cambodia. I've been here for 11 years now. I went to Lowell Public School, MTC for 1 semester, and finished my college at UMass Lowell, major in political science and minor in criminal justice.
When did you graduate from UMass Lowell?
UMass Lowell, class of 2022.
2022, so not that long ago, and just after the COVID experience.
Correct. Yeah.
So, what have you been doing since then?
Since then, I've been involved in like nonprofit work, right? I started my first nonprofit volunteer and job at CMAA, the Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association organization here in Lowell. Just mainly focus on civic engagement, to advocate for voting rights, get people to vote, encourage our Khmer community to come out and register and go out to vote on election day. That's the job. Then I move on to work at Lowell Public School as a portrait of a graduate project manager. Just gain some experience on how the educational side work and help build some new idea, curriculum, and so on at the school. And then just from there on, my life is just mainly involved in the community, nonprofit, and politics. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And we'll talk more about the politics and nonprofit work. But right now, I wanted to take a moment and talk about how it sounds like you're really working towards the community and you want to make it better and doing all that. Right. And what I'm curious about is, where do you think that comes from? Was it from the way you grew up in Lowell, or the people that you're around that motivated you to be more involved with the community?
Mm-hmm. So one of the idea that encouraged me to do the work I'm doing right now, right? So I came here when I was 13 years old. I speak no English. The only word I know is like water, bathroom, and one more thing, yes or no, right? That's a few words that I know come from. I get on the plane and come to the United States. And then when I got here, I went to school. I started learning English. I start my middle school at the Scotland Middle School, right? They have an ELL program, so they taught me pretty well and they prepared me to how to communicate in English and so on. And then I go to Lowell High School, and it's also helped me more to prepare myself to learn to communicate, speaking in English, how to work with people, and those kind of stuff, right? And then when I got to my junior year in high school, I have more confidence to be able to communicate more with people, and then that's where they give me a spark of like, now I know to speak English, right? Now I have a voice. Mm-hmm. Why not use that to help others? Mm-hmm. And then senior ended, I start to volunteer for a political candidate and those kind of stuff, and give me more open eye to like, there's an opportunity here that I can help other people, if whoever needed, right? Because we have a lot of immigrants in our community that cannot have that communication, and so now I'm able to do that. So why not help other by using the knowledge and the skill I have to help other?
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So your experience as an immigrant yourself, and not quote unquote having that voice because you didn't know how to speak English, and growing up in Lowell, learning English, discovering your voice, and realizing that you could be the voice for others.
Correct.
That's awesome. So we're going to move a little bit more into your story of nonprofit. Before we go into that, what has been some of your bigger challenges growing up in Lowell as an immigrant?
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest challenges is how to communicate with people, right? Because I came here when I was 13 years old. My Khmer is not that good because of the lack of education in Cambodia. I can speak, I can write simple word, but going down to a hard conversation with people, I cannot really do that when I come here. So when I got here, was head-on focus on learning English so I can communicate with the people in this country, right? And then the challenge was that people expect you to know how to speak the language, and it's hard to when I start to do the work of volunteering, those kind of stuff. It was hard to communicate with some Cambodian people in Lowell to like explain to them what are we here for, why we try to get you to do this and that for the better of our community. That was one of the hardship. It took me a few years as well to was able to learn step by step to able to have those communication skill in the community. Yeah,
that's actually interesting because I think you started off with not knowing English,
right?
And then you brought in like your Khmer wasn't perfect,
right.
And then you just mentioned about how you were having some difficulty talking to some Cambodian members about the benefits of different things.
Correct.
So it's not just the English or Khmer portion; it's communicating with people in general.
That's right.
About that.
Because this educational system in Cambodia was pretty not as strong what we have here, right? It's all about money to get through school, to pass school in Cambodia. And if you don't have money, doesn't matter how smart you are, there's no support there, right? From the teacher, from the staff. So that gave me a lack of opportunity to learn the language, to learn the culture. I didn't learn most of the culture and the language until I got here because of the support from the community, support from CMAA, gave me those opportunities to learn and so on.
That's awesome. Now since you just mentioned CMAA, let's hop into that. And I want to hear more about the type of work that you did while you were there. Maybe talk to us about how long you were there and the reason why you even started doing things with them.
Right. So CMAA, one of the first organizations I'm really deeply involved in, right? Story about CMAA on how I get myself to be involved was in 2020 or 2021. I was volunteering as an intern for Joe Kennedy, who ran for state senator, U.S. Senate back then, and then I knocked on CMA door to like, hey, the election is coming up. Do you know what's going on? They know and just want to say hi and this kind of stuff. And then Savannah back then, who is the executive director for CMA, come out and say hi. Hey, then he say hi, and then it's like, hey, you young, you want to volunteer with us? and then like, sure. And then we start communicate through email, and then that's how I got my feet in to start volunteering in their civic engagement program at CMA. And then from there, I got promoted to like the assistant of civic engagement, and then I applied for the civic engagement coordinator there at CMA. So I worked there pretty good, solid 1 year from volunteer to civic engagement to just mainly focus on educating the community about the new voting system back then that we have, the district, the at-large candidates and city council, school committee, and so on, to just get people to understand about it, right? And then the other main part was like to get them to register and actually go out to vote on election day, because we know that Cambodian Americans have a really low turnout on election day in the local level, right? In the presidential election, they know that the president's running, let's go out to vote. But for local election, it's more important in the sense of it, but because of the lack of communication, the lack of resource, the lack of education, most people didn't come out to vote because of that. And my goal as a civic engagement coordinator was to educate them to get out to vote. We throw an event. We have an education we call Civic Engagement 101 on Zoom, on in person, to just get people to know what's going on, pass it down to their friend and family, hoping they go out to vote. And it worked. We got some new, older community to go out to vote, even younger as well. And then I have to leave due to my decision of running for office. We can talk a little more in that. But that was my main work at CMA. But currently, my involvement at CMA is as their board member.
That's awesome. So I'm ready to move on a little bit more in our conversation, specifically the big exciting things that's coming up for you. If you want to talk to us about your involvement with politics in general, and what is it that you're working towards, and what brought you there?
Right. My first involvement in politics was back in 2018. right after I graduated from high school, I started volunteering for a political campaign called. His name is Rudy Ong. Rudy Ong in 2018 he ran for state representative in the 18 Middlesex district, right? That and he asked me to be volunteer for his campaign, knock on door. That's give me the opportunity to like gain that experience, right? But my real first encounter in politics was about Cambodian politics. In 2013, when the right I come to the United States, there's an election in Cambodia, a general election for presidency in the country. There was a lot of people march on the street, support their candidate, and go after the opposition candidate and this kind of stuff. And I'm over here already, so I just following like to Facebook, YouTube, and those kind of stuff to learn about what's going on. And it gave me it catch my attention in the sense of like, I live in a democracy country right now in the United States, and in Cambodia, if you have a disagreement with the current political system, you will be in trouble in so many different ways that the viewer can figure out what might it be, right? And that's also that's when it gave me more understanding and involvement to be part of politics here in Lowell. That's why I started to volunteer for Rudy Ong's state representative position in 2018. We didn't win back then, but it gave me the experience to knock on door, talk to people, and then I started volunteer for Joe Kennedy. Actually, no, before that, I volunteered for Visna Nguyen, Councilor Nguyen, who's run for city councilor, and then Joe Kennedy, who's run for U.S. Senate, and a different position from state, local, and federal level. It's given me that opportunity to understand that this role that people are in right now, if we elect the right person, then job can be done in the good for the community, right? But if we keep electing people who just want to be there for name recognition, the paycheck, it's pretty good in a certain way, right? And it's just want to be fame in the community because I'm an elected official. Nothing will be done. The community will be still struggling to recover from COVID-19. Business still down because we keep electing the wrong person, and communication between how the people in the community can seek out for help and support will never be exist because some of the people who are in there just want to be, hey, I'm a state representative, I'm a city councilor, don't talk to me. That's one of my main understanding. Like some people in the community is like that. That's why I started to put my feet involved with those political campaigns to help elect the right candidate to that position. And that's how I got to be involved as myself as well in 2022 when I ran for state representative.
You mentioned you were 22 when you ran, so that's kind of young. And I imagine a lot of people hesitate at the idea of that, because when you think of politics, you're like, oh, it's older folk that are in there, right? They know what they're doing. We need an older person in there. But they also say that the future is with the younger generation. And so you're a younger generation. How did you feel like you balanced between being part of a younger generation but also leading the way for the future?
Right. So because of my background in the community, my involvement, my education in political science from UMass Lowell, it took us about 3 months during the campaign to just put the message out that age doesn't matter. The matter is who can get the job done, right? We're not on doors in the community or many times to I remember my first month and a half or so in the campaign, we knock on the door and the people come out, are you even allowed to vote yet? But I'm like, yes ma'am, yes sir, I can vote. I'm 22, but I'm running for state representative because I want to change the way how we have not do or need stuff that need to be done in the community, right? And that was the message that we put out to the community. Age doesn't matter. The matter is how can you get the job done. And it worked. you know, my background show that, my experience show that to the community, and I have not been stopped doing the work for the community, speaking up at city council, or knock on the door, provide resources to the community, even though in 2022 we lost the election by only 56 votes, by the way.
Wow.
So close.
That is close.
But the work that I and my team have been doing, it never stopped, because we believe for the better of the community. We believe that better leadership, better communication can help people who in help of needing in the community.
Right. And having that strong mission that you're striving for, that helps you a lot to stay motivated, especially having after a loss with 56 voting difference. Yeah. As you were doing your campaign and such, have you noticed if the younger generations were also involved, like outside of you? Specifically, do you think young folks were engaged in politics, or was it kind of just willy-nilly?
When I start, no. When I start announce my candidacy in 2022, no, because we don't have a lot of young people in the community that have interest in that, right? Because we all think that, you know, old people get in that position and then that's let them be, right? But my mindset is a little bit different. I believe that this is our generation, this is our time to start rising up in the community and our country as well, to voice our opinion and get our opinion heard at the table. And the camp during 2022, we were able to encourage a few younger generation around my age or younger, like high school and college student, to have a little bit more like more understanding and be a part of the system that we are in right now in the community. Right? There's we got like 5 younger folk to help us on the campaign, and we got like that from college student, and we were 5 other younger student from high school to help volunteer on our campaign. I was pretty happy about it, to able to use my age, my name, to encourage other younger generation to be a part of it. If you see in Lowell right now, some of the people who show up speaking at the council, it's between 20 to 30 years old, right? Around the age that we're in right now. So I'm pretty happy to see that with my involvement, with my ability to come out, to put my name on the ballot, can encourage more younger generation to be a part. And that's also one of the goals as well. You know, I want to see younger generation to, like, you know, go knock on those doors, go speak at the council meeting and demand them that listen to us, because later on, this will be our community. This will be our city. So climate change is real. So this is what we want you to do on our behalf at the moment. Communication, improve the communication skill. So people of color can feel comfortable to go at city council meeting, go to the city hall to ask for help and support. And I'm pretty happy to see that more younger people now come out slowly to be involved. And I'm also pretty happy as well, not just in Lowell, across the country, right? To see younger folk to run for public office. Very inspiring. One of the gentlemen, I forgot his name, in Florida, the Gen Z generation, to got elected to be the first Gen Z congressman in the United States House of Representatives. So pretty inspiring to see that as well. So, yeah.
That's awesome. It sounds like up until now we've been talking a lot about you developing your voice and being the voice for other people and the community, and now you're talking about the next generation and you're helping them grow their voices. And it's kind of full circle because of your involvement back in 2018 with the state rep and learning about that and the other campaigns, and now you're giving that opportunity to other people as well, and that's great. So let's talk about now. Yep, let's talk about now. You are currently running again, or you will be running. So tell me more.
Right now, I am running again for state representative position I ran for in 2022. Right, we came so close. I run again not because just that, because I run again because I want to improve the constituent services system that we don't have at the moment in the district I'm running for. I'm running for state representative for the 18 Middlesex district, which is only made of the Highland neighborhood and the Acre neighborhood in the city of Lowell. The district itself called a minority majority district, so focus on, because the district make out a lot of the Asian community, Hispanic, Latino community, the white community, and the black community. It's pretty diverse in the sense of it, and we need to have a real leader and a stronger leader that can advocate on their behalf at the State House, right? And we need also to have someone who understands the culture, the community, like voice, community, what the community want to see at the State House, at the state level, and in the district as well, to be better of it. And with my involvement to nonprofit and volunteer for other nonprofit in Lowell, especially in the district, I have this understanding of the people and of what are the things that need to be done. Like one of the main things that says the people in the district been asking for and really want to see is a better constituent service system, which means that a better communication from the state representative, right? And that's what I can bring to the table. I'm only 23 right now, and I have the energy, the passion, and the commitment to do so. To like, if I got elected this year, the first thing I want to do is create an office hour, creating an office space that people can come in to sit down with me and communicate together and talk together. Like, hey, what does the people need, and how can I help at the state level to improve that quality of life in the district, right? And it's gonna be a lot of work, but hey, to give more opportunity for people to be involved in the system that we're in right now, you have to do the work to get the job done. So, yeah.
You absolutely have to do the work to get them the things they need, which we've been talking about this whole time. What do you think are the biggest differences between you now and you before, from back to 2022?
I can talk. To be honest, in 2022, I was pretty nervous to knock on the door and talk about myself. Because in our culture, in Cambodian culture, we don't talk about ourselves that much. Right? We don't really hype ourselves up to like, hey, this is what I can do. It's what I can bring to the table. That was pretty hard in 2022. But now, because of, I learned a lot along the way since we lost the election in 2022 until now. I learned a lot in the sense of like, how can I tell people this is my experience, this is what I can bring to the table, and because I'm able to communicate that with people, show them my experience, and ask them to vote for me. I think this time of election, it's give me a more opportunity to have those communication skill to people in the district, right? In 2022, I was pretty nervous every time I talk to people. My legs start shaking, my hands start shaking. But now I feel a little more comfortable to have those communication. And it also showed that I'm ready to get the job done at the State House, because if I got elected this year, probably one of the youngest people who in that position. There's gonna be a lot of people older than me that I am ready to build those connections and networking to sit down and talk with them and communicate with them in a sense like, how can we help each other to improve our district, our Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and so on.
So I have one more question about your current, or your running for state rep this time around. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge this time?
The biggest challenge this time, I think, is because of the current person who in that position is incumbent. So every time you run against an incumbent, so it's kind of hard to like go to beat the incumbent, right? But I think the biggest challenge at the moment is to get people to vote, because we see at the last voter turnout in our city council race, and school committee race in 2020, last year, 2022? No, 23. In 2023, we have one of the lower turnout in Lowell history, right? I think that will be the big challenge this year, to get people to be engaged in what we try to do here for the district and the election itself. Even though there is a presidential election happening right now, but it's the same old thing, right? Happened in 2020 between Biden and Donald Trump, and I think that will be the biggest challenge, to get people to vote. And especially my election, I'm running in the primary election because I'm a Democrat and the incumbent is Democrat. Our primary election will be on September 3rd, right after Labor Day.
Oh, man.
So on Labor Day, people have a day
Yeah.
off. We'll take a break and try to get them to go vote on
Yeah.
Tuesday, September 3rd. I think it will be one of the big challenge for
Mhm.
us to encourage people to vote.
Mhm.
But the work that we try to do here, we're not going to stop because of that, right? We're going to knock every door in the community, the 42,000 door that we have in the community, the people in the community. We're going to knock all those doors over and over again to just tell people that this is the better option, and this is a guy, 23-year-old guy. I'm turning 24 in May. that all he wants to do is get the job done for the community. And how can we build a better leadership, better communication, better resources for the peer community to go to if they needed those resources and support from the state level, right? That will be our message for the rest of the campaign, and knock every single door and meet everyone. We're not going to discriminate it on what they look like and so on. We're going to talk to everyone, because at the end of the day, if I got elected to this position, you serve the community and everyone who in the district. So it doesn't matter you're Republican, Independent, and Democrat, black, white, or Asian American, and so on. We're going to have to work together, because our main goal is to prepare for the better generation so they can start getting ready for when they start rising up in the community as well. So that's my goal, that's my message, and that's what I'm going to do until September 3rd. It's going to be a lot of work.
Sounds like it.
But we believe that to change the system that we have right now, we just need to do the work.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we're gonna wrap up now. So, is there any last words that you want to give out to the folks? Maybe how they can connect with you, or maybe how they can work with you, or help you with your campaign.
Awesome. So yeah, everyone can go to my website. My website is just tarahong.com. So TARAHONG.com. There will be tell a little bit more about my campaign, what I'm running for, and my contact will be there as well, and how you can be involved, right? And my last word for today's interview is that, if you believe in change, if you believe in a better representation in the community, come out. Don't complain on social media. Don't complain among your family member. Come out and be a part of this force that we try to create right now to bring change and better representation in the community. So contact me if you have any question, and we can sit down together and communicate together. It's to the point that how can we work together to advocate for new idea and new change, new leadership for our community here in Lowell.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending your time with us today. This is LTC's Lowellian. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.